and direct, baby.
Welcome back. We've been out for a minute. Our
Been
apologies.
doing some, yeah, no. Well, we have been out. We've been doing some interviews, giving the viewers a little different flavor. And we
Yeah,
thought we would come back, circle back, you and I connect, give a little recap of what's been happening,
yeah.
right? Deals been going on.
We've just been
Agents been joining.
since that last interview with Mr. Roddy De La Garza. We kind of, we
Yeah,
fell off. We just got so busy, man. Was on appointments. We've pivoted our
right,
business model. We brought on a half dozen new agents that are learning
yep,
probates.
right.
We traveled down to Carlsbad. Like we've had a lot going on, man. So it's good that there's a fly in here, man. I'm telling you, it's from the prehistoric ages.
Well, maybe they want to join probate. Let's get
I'm
them on the team.
about to because I'm about to kill it. It's about to be dead. I hope it has
Oh,
guts.
damn, they ain't messing around.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. So, anyways, hey viewers, welcome back to the Probate Hero Collective. Today Ray and I, we're gonna bring you up to speed on what we've been up to, what we've been doing, kind of a recap on everything that's happened in between that last interview with Roddy De La Garza, the regional growth manager or director for EXP, and today, right? Brought on a bunch of new agents. Couple of them are brand new agents. Couple of them are very
Mhm.
seasoned agents. A couple
Well,
of
on that, we're gonna our next few interviews, we're gonna be bringing on those agents. One is a seasoned agent that joined, kind
yeah.
of get her take so viewers can get an idea, and then a newer agent. And it takes time, but it takes consistency. So,
Before we really get into the content of this podcast, can I just apologize for my apparel? So today's the first day of my kid's summer vacation. I picked up my youngest son. He was out of school half day today. My other son, who's now going to be a senior in high school, he had a bunch of friends over. They were all in the pool swimming, and my office is right next to the pool. So I had the door open, and it's 103 degrees outside right now. So I was back and forth making them food, chopping up watermelon while I was, doing work and doing stuff. So I apologize for just hanging out, you guys, in a wife beater. I know it's not very professional, but hey, who knows what you viewers are doing right now? You might be sitting there in your underwear, eating ice
right.
cream out of the jug. Who knows? So it's all family here. We're all just hanging out. No one needs to be dressed to the nines. You Ray, you're always dressed to the nines, man.
Well, I mean, I'm sweating. It's hot here, but I mean, we come suited and booted.
You
But
look
I
good.
get it,
You look
Central
good. You
Valley,
look good.
man.
You look good.
It's
At
roasting
least
out
I
there.
got a little bit of the swagger on. I got a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit of
no
the swagger
EXP.
on. You know.
Hey, so let's get people up to speed, right? The last one, Real Linda, we're actually going to be closing that
Well, let's
actually
talk
next
about
week,
that.
right? Yeah,
Let's remind the viewers what that Rio Linda deal is. That's crazy, Greg.
that's crazy, Greg. Yeah. So, I mean, just to kind of get viewers up to speed, if you haven't been hearing the prior podcast on the deals. So, as we always talk about, right, with these probates, it's a consistency. And this is a specific lead that I think my notes, I was calling them since June, so almost a dang year, man.
What's the full?
And yeah, it's literally a full year. And I was calling him, leaving him messages, sending texts. Never heard from the guy. He just was on my pile over here as we talk about as you're building this probate lane and you're calling and you're getting appointments, you're getting leads, you're getting follow-ups, you're getting people that don't call you. Well, he was in that pile, right? The graveyard pile. And I get a text probably I want to say it was maybe like October, probably 6 months or later, out of the blue. Hey, home's going into foreclosure. You've been calling me. Can we talk? Of course, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We can talk. But then I remember I called you and I have no clue who this guy is. Can you look up? And
That's the conversation, the interview
right.
call that we did when I was with the family at 9 o'clock at night in the toy aisle of Target.
Yeah. Well, see, and remember, right? all of this is timing, right? We're calling, we're knocking, we're following up, we're texting, but it's timing for them. He texts out of the blue. Can we talk? Absolutely. When are you available? You know what? Can you do it at like 7, 8 o'clock tonight? Yep, no problem. I'm calling the bat line for Eckersley over here, the closer. Right? And he's like, all right, man, this is how the game goes. And you're at Target with your family, 9 o'clock at night, pretty much checked out from the real estate. But when the bat line calls, Eckersley suits up.
When the,
So
when the pitching coach calls in the reliever, you got to be ready,
you,
man. You got
you
to be
gotta
ready to
go,
go with
man.
the ball.
And you know, we had that call. Obviously, you got on the phone. We talked that. We figured out what was going on. And Crazy Greg, we always give everyone kind of or these estates a name, right? But his email literally was Crazy Greg. So we got that listing, but then there was a whole nother thing. They had people living there, family members that didn't want to leave. They had to sell. It's going in foreclosure. So there was just all these steps we had to go through. We did get the listing, but then we couldn't do anything. So then the listing expired 90 days,
Well,
and then we had to relist it.
remember, initially when we took the listing, they had the intention of fixing up the property a little bit because they wanted us to sell on the market for as much as we possibly could get for it. And
Right.
we had that hurdle with the honorary family member that was living there who didn't want to leave. They had to do a formal eviction on that.
Yep.
We had our
Yep.
coming soon sign up for like 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
When we
Yep.
finally got to the property to meet with the administrator, the signpost was ripped out of the
There
ground.
was ripped out signs written on. It's like,
I was like, that's good. Hey, sign company's going to appreciate that. But then what ended up happening, when we actually got into the property and the estate saw the condition
the
that the property
condition.
was
Yeah.
left in, it was like a whole, 180. They understood. We gave them the option, right? We had that.
Well, we always do, but remember,
We said,
they've gone through the ringer. They were ready to be done with it,
yeah.
and so it was their decision.
And then when we told them on top of everything they've already gone through, it's going to take 100 to 125 grand to get the
Yeah, easy.
roofs coming in. There's holes in walls and the ceiling and the floors.
Yeah, it was a fixer. Mm-hmm.
I mean, old like gut job fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she experienced all of that, when Crazy Greg experienced all of that, 180 is like, we just want to be done with it. So
We want to be done with it.
now for our viewers,
Mm-hmm.
hear that, okay, that tells us they want a cash deal, take it to our investors, right? I get it, right? But here's the difference with this transaction. We were already employed as the listing agents.
Right.
So our listing contract expired and we re-upped it and did a new one. We were
Right.
employed as the listing agents for representing the estate.
Yep.
When you're in that position, you have to put the estate's best interest ahead of obviously your own, but ahead of your investors' interests. So what Ray
Yeah.
had to do was we had to take it to our whole roster of investors, but we also had to list the property on the open market.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we had to do what's best for the estate. We obviously wanted to give them the most money, but she was thinking a lesser price. And by us putting it on the open market, we actually got her a higher price, a lot more than she was expecting.
Yeah, she thought that we were going to list the property on the market for 300. After she spoke to us, we ended up going at 350, and we ended up going into contract not at the asking price, but like right there. But it was.
But we got what, 3 offers or so?
Uh,
3, 4 off.
Including our off market.
Yeah.
Fly, man! I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
got a vendetta for itself. I'm gonna get it. Yeah, 3 to 5, 3 official offers. The other 2 are more of like a verbal type of an offer. So 3 actual paper, and we ended up going into contract all cash with
which it needed to be.
That's the only way it was going to work. We had so many phone calls. are you sure this can't go conventional? And I was just,
No, no.
you obviously have not visited the property yet. Like you're going to,
Right,
like, there's no way that
right,
any financial institution is going to land on this property. Like one of their biggest barriers of entry is safety, right? And this place is just not set up. It ain't going to carry a mortgage. So
right, right.
it had to go cash. And the offer that we took was all cash.
Hmm.
The offer that came in, the agent, I had to coach the agent on probate. Everything was messed up. They had they had the NHD being paid by the buyer, but it says that this fly really is fighting with me. But I put that in the MLS that probate's exempt from NHD, so I have the buyer pay for that. But there was no probate purchase addendum. There was no probate advisory. They wanted to close it in 7 days, and I had to explain what the notice of proposed action is and what it's for. Uh,
Yep.
the agent was cool. Like the agent openly admitted, like, "Hey, I've never done a probate, so whatever you tell me to do, what it's going to do." So I had to create the addendum, to change all that stuff and to put who the actual seller is. They just had, seller of record. They had the deceased name on there. When you actually need to put a state of the deceased name and then comma administrator, whoever the administrator's name is. So we fixed all that on the addendum. But when all the paperwork was done, it's a clean deal. It's moving good. Deposit went in. The notice of proposed action was sent out. The attorney was right on top of it.
Hmm.
So that's going to
Yep.
expire right around June 7th. And we'll be able to close right after that. And then that was almost a year in the making.
Right.
It's done. So
Well, and that's the thing, right? That the viewers got to understand is there's deals that go like this sometimes that are just in your follow up, and it's going to take time where there's family members living there. You got to, have that timeline to get them out, stay in contact, give them the resources, right? Educate agents on the other end that never did a probate. And this is why it's so important for an estate to work with a probate expert because all imagine, okay, just imagine if they hire an agent's never did it and they're talking about pulling up carpet and we could do some, whatever, right? I mean, it would have been a disaster for the estate. So there's things like this that you really got to be educated, and you get educated just by being in the mix and doing the deals and figuring it out and partnering with people that are on that path you want to get to.
you
So this was just one we just had to hold on to the rope and don't let go.
you just said it, that whole thing of agents that want to do probate. It's there's such a thick and heavy wall of barrier to entry because it's a massive learning curve. You have to understand terminology, legalities of probate court, probate law, probate code, timelines, how to navigate through a transaction, disclosure exemptions, probate documents required. There's so much that
Well,
you have to know. I mean, you can't just sit there and chat GPT it, right?
you got to know.
Got
You got
to
to
know
know.
how to execute it. And the agents, the half dozen agents that just partner with us, one of them, she's been in business 25, 30 years. She's a big time real estate agent, but she's smart. Her niche is relocation, and she's felt the vice grip of her niche being affected by changes in the economy and the
Hmm.
marketing, things like that. And then when she looked you up, Ray, because she has a long history with you,
Hmm.
found this podcast, saw what we're doing with probate. Whoa, her eyes wide open. And
Right.
she was ready to make a move instead of going to her local Coldwell banker that has the market share for her area. She ended up partnering with us because of the fact that she could she could do her business anywhere. Coldwell banker wasn't going to help her do better in her niche. That was market
Hmm.
conditions. She can do that niche anywhere. But adding that probate, she knew because she's smart enough and she's been in the game long enough. She knew she needed to hitch her wagon to guys that already have this figured out and that can just lay out the red carpet for her, hold her hand, and walk her to the promised land and do deals.
Well, the assumption is that you got to be with a certain brokerage for clients to hire you, and that could be far from the truth. I mean, I remember,
Furthest
and back, well, when I was with a big company here in Blackhawk, Danville, and this was back in 2011, 12, 13, when I was being mentored by your pops, and you guys had just joined EXP. Nobody heard of the company, right? And that was my holdup. I'm on Danville. Oh my God. And so I just said, screw it. I did it, right? Everyone knows the story, was the broker, et cetera, et cetera. But I remember I got a few listings from my, normal clients, and I had switched EXP. Nobody even asked me. I was so in my head. Oh my God, what are they going to say? They're going to see the sign EXP. Who the hell's EXP? This guy. Oh my God, he's not going to sell it. It was the relationship, and that's the reality
real
agents got to
estate
get over.
agents, us real estate agents, we think of that.
Right.
Clients
Yeah.
don't. Clients think of you and
Well,
me.
yeah.
They think of us. They think of Gary and Ray, and they don't think of Remax or Jay Rawcliffe or EX. They don't even think about
Right.
that. They don't care.
Well,
They're
well,
thinking,
a lot of people want that, that office environment. But, the truth is, and we really excelled when COVID happened because every other brokerage shut down. There's so much collaboration via cloud. Now it's more convenient. You instead of driving, downtown and getting to your office, getting out of the car, dressing up, you just pull up and we're on our EXP world and we're doing training and just so many things. So it's more collaborative being the way it's set up. But, with that being said, there's value. Obviously, you got to do for agents what's best for you. But at the end of the day, this lane of probates, which we're speaking on, you've been in for decades with your pops, it's recession proof.
yeah,
And now that we're coming into this interesting market, I mean, we're smooth sailing.
this is when the floodgates open for you and me. This is when agents are just jumping ship and coming
Yep.
to us because their regular real estate is being affected. They see probate as the answer to their problems. When that happens, when agents get put in a position where deal flow slows down, well, now the
Mm-hmm.
brokerage isn't that big of an issue anymore. And I've
Right.
actually I spoke with an agent today from Keller Williams. He's in a different county south of me here, and I spoke with three other agents from other brokerages, reputable, good brokerages. But these are all brokerages that are still in the old real estate model, and
Yeah.
so they loved everything that I was talking about. They love they are 100% all in that they have to add probate to their business just in order to be able to survive because their lane of real estate is affected when probate is not. They just need to learn the tangibles about probate in order to add that to their business. But they were so hung up on being married to their brokerage. You know what? I told them straight up. I said, you know what? You're not the right fit for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that could be a little off-putting, a little direct for people, but I'm a very direct person. You know that, Ray. And
Mm-hmm.
I told these agents, all of them. That's why they didn't join our team, Ray. I said, you're not the right fit for Gary and Ray. You're not the right fit. Well,
Right.
what do you mean by that? I believe in probate. I want to do it. I said, yeah. I go, but the problem is you care more about where you are hanging your license than what your business is doing. I said
And
I said you were you were okay with stopping and going to Blockbuster and going to Hollywood Video and getting your movies on Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that was no problem for you. Yeah, I'll watch my movies this way, but when it comes to your livelihood, you don't have this bigger picture. You're narrow minded. Said you're not the right fit. I said
yeah.
I can't. This
Well, it's like agents, it's like probate, man. We're looking for the people that we could help sincerely and passionately, right? And if they don't see the value, we can lead you to the water. We can't make you drink it. You got to be thirsty enough to get in there and get out of my way. Let me drink because we'll show you where the water is. You just got to You have to be able to drink. I can't be dunking your head every time.
And the beauty of
So
our water, it's never
the,
ending.
the fountain of youth, baby, we
It
need it.
just, that fountain just keeps pumping every single week.
Woo,
Right?
man.
But like you
But
said,
no, yeah,
agents
yeah,
just they get tunnel vision, and agents, at least the ones that I have no interest in working with, they think that because it's important to the agent who their brokerage is, that that's going to be important to the client, and that could not be
yeah.
further from the truth. It's
Absolutely, man. I mean, I think the viewers get the point, and just on the flip side, right? Some of the deals we've been working, we got a lot of follow-ups. We did a few conference calls. There's some what was the lady's name out in South Bay, right? That has maybe an eviction, somebody there. So we may have another issue like that. But see, it's the experience. We already know what she's up against, what needs to happen, and that's the dialogue. We connected her with
that's the lady in
the
San Jose.
yeah, and we connected her with our partner on the legal side. So we'll just see where that goes, right? But we know how this story goes.
And then there's the lady up in Sacramento who's been coming back and forth from Colorado. That property should be ready any week now. She's been going
Mm-hmm. The
for
one in Oakland we've been working on. So we got a lot of things, but this is it. It's follow up, resources, connecting them, because these things take time. And, a lot of times it's just been thrown into their lap and they don't know what direction to go. And oh my God. So it's you being the calming force and just providing solutions. No obligation.
Hey,
We're here to help.
let me touch on something a little bit out of left field.
All right.
Viewers might be looking at us right now with our backdrops, and they're like, why does Gary and Ray's backdrop say
Oh,
loves?
that's another lane.
So I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag and let all you
Ooh,
know.
you gonna let Morris the cat out, huh?
I'm going to let Morris the cat out. So Ray and we've expanded our business, and we're not only focused on that probate lane. We've jumped up to the higher price points, and we're actively working in our luxury markets everywhere between the Bay Area all the way through the Central
We
Valley.
got you covered. Absolutely.
And
Yep.
here's the beauty of that. That business is going to be great. We're going to knock down a bunch of multi-million dollar properties, higher price points, higher commissions. Fantastic. Is it going to be forever? No, it's going to fluctuate with the market. But guess what? Guess why we can very easily move into that marketplace and have an effect and break into it? It's because we got the probate lane dialed in. We always
Mm-hmm.
have consistent deals going down over here in the probate lane. We're not sweating it. We have that comfort zone where, hey, you know what? We want to get some higher price points. We want to focus on that high end property, that luxury market. Let's go and do it. We can go and do it. And if the market tanks, we still have this business over here. We still have consistent.
Yeah. Well, that's always a consistent source of business. I mean, that's why we're sharing this, because there's an abundance of business. So every agent should be doing the probates and then work your other business. But you got to work it. I mean, just like anything else. If you work it, you'll get business. But to your point, yeah, the luxury side. So they're getting hit from all angles. We could do a base hit. We could do a butt. Now we can get a grand slam, a triple.
Exactly.
But you got to work it. You got to work it.
Yeah. And it's astonishing when these agents that have been coming to us and talking to us, and their biggest hang up, they all want to learn probate. They're willing to learn probate. They want to talk about co-brokerage listings and all this stuff. And when we tell them we don't do that anymore, that died when my father passed away. We don't do that anymore. And after we explain to them why we don't do that, they understand it, but they still have this hang up. Oh no, I have to be with this brokerage because of my market. It's the most diluted perception. And if that's you out there, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just telling you exactly how it is. You are shooting yourself in your own foot right now by telling yourself, I'd love to work with Gary and Ray, but I can't leave my brokerage. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You can do your business anywhere. Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your business is not going to change. Your sphere of influence is going to go with you. They're there for you, not your brokerage. They can care what the brokerage does nothing for them. You do it for them. So if you really want to add probate, I mean, you come to us. Our probate program costs $5,000 up front. And then, to be coached directly by Ray and I, and to work directly with us on your deals, it's another $1,000 a month, another 12 grand a year. It ain't cheap. But the reason why it's not cheap, here's the reason why it's not cheap. Because Ray and I don't have the time to work with agents outside of our EXP group. We're too busy coaching our agents that are working with us, helping them get deals. So
Right.
we really don't even want you to buy our coaching program. We really don't, because we don't have time. If someone does, we'll give them the time. They paid for it. But at the end of the day, we don't want you to do that. It doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do anybody any good. Create a win-win situation. Your brokerage is not the end-all be-all. Leave your brokerage. If you really want to add probate to your business and make your career recession-proof, so you always know you have deals closing, your brokerage ain't doing that for you. Leave them. Screw them. Come over here. We'll get you dialed in with everything EXP. We'll add the probate piece for you. It'll cost you nothing. No $5,000 up front. No $1,000 a month. You get all the training. You get all the scripts, all the marketing tools, the whole system handed to you on a silver platter. And then you also get Ray and I helping you with the prospecting, with the interview process, locking down the deals. And then
and maybe luxury, our new program, but that's a whole separate deal.
That's a whole separate conversation. But if you want to break into luxury, believe it or not, we got that dialed in for you too.
Yeah. So you got two options, but yeah. So with that being said, right, we wanted to just get a recap. I mean, we got our Zoom studio here, and then another thing, I'm getting hit up a lot, man. A lot of people want our swag, so we gotta do something. We're on our podcast link. It go directly there, and they can order as they choose.
Yeah, we'll put up a Shopify link in our on our page, on our YouTube page, and you viewers, you can go there and buy these hats. You can buy polos, hoodies,
sweats,
all kinds of stuff there you can pick up if you want to.
Yeah. So I've meant to bring that up the other day, but yeah, a lot of people
know. Just so the viewers know, when you purchase the swag, like Ray and I, we're not paying bills with that money and going out to dinner and having drinks.
We're not even making any money.
We're really not making any money off of it, right?
Yeah.
There's a cost to have that stuff done. But the money that does come in off of your swag purchase, it just goes right back into this podcast. So we can deliver you better content and better quality at the same time. Just so we'll be reinvesting any of the money that's left over from the swag back into this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I think in an overview, we just wanted to connect, give the viewers a little update. And I think in the next few podcasts coming up, we're going to bring some of these agents that just joined, and let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
How was it joining? How was it leaving your broker? Like, really, let's get the real from. We've always been very transparent with the viewers. I think that's why a lot of people resonate with us, because we're not sugarcoating anything, and we'll bring them on, and they'll speak their truth, how it's working, how they like, what they don't like. Yeah. So,
all right. Well, I think we're at the ending point here. So
yep.
Nice to recap with you guys. As always, I'm Gary.
I'm Ray.
And this has been Probate Hero Collective. We'll see you next time.
All right.